Have you ever thought about hiring an inside sales rep for your business, but you're just not sure what personality traits to look for in the interview process? I'm going to give you my thoughts on that today. All right, guys, so we're continuing our series on hiring an inside sales rep, and today I want to talk to you about the personality traits you should look for in the interview process. Now, I mentioned in a previous video that one of the tools you should be using is an assessment tool, either the predictive index or the DISC assessment. We personally use the PI here, so I'm going to walk you guys through what we have found to look for in a predictive index when it comes to hiring an ISA. Now, when it comes to the predictive index, you really have 4 behavioral character traits that they measure. They have A for dominance, B for extroversion, C for patience, and D for formality. So you're going to send this to your candidate. They're going to take a few questions. It's going to come back to you and really give you a write-up on the personality traits of this candidate. And what you want to look for that we have found successful, and keep in mind, I have interviewed and hired hundreds of inside sales reps. And what I'm telling you is what we have found to be successful is that you want to look for a high A, which is dominance. You want to look for someone who's very assertive, really dominant. You also want to look for a high B, that extroversion. You're looking for someone who's likable, who's extroverted, that can walk into a room and just befriend anybody. So you want a high A and high B. Now, something that we found in our own company is we want the B to be a little bit lower than the A because we want them to be more assertive, more dominant than they choose to be likable, because the truth is you can suffer for wanting to be liked and it hinders you at the close when you're an inside sales rep because you're too worried about what that prospect on the end of the phone says. Now, you want to look for a low C and a low D. So you want your inside sales rep to have really little patience. And the reason why is because you want them to just go dial to dial and just be kind of rocking back and forth in their seat. You're looking for someone who just is impatient, that wants to go from close to close. And you want them to be formal. You want the D to come back a little bit, but you won't want them to be over formal, over detail oriented. You don't want them to be analytical, because what will happen is they will think too much about the call before they make it, or they'll spend too much time on their documentation of their notes, and that's going to make them inefficient because then they won't be dialing over and over again. They'll be spending their time doing note documentation and thinking about the prospect before they make the call. So guys, you want to look for dominance, high dominance and assertiveness. You want to look for likability, that extrovert, and then you want to look for someone who has low patience and just a little bit of formality. Now, what I'm going to do for you guys is I'll actually put a link in the video below where you can see a graph of a salesperson that we've had success in hiring inside sales reps. So if you like these tips, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram. But most importantly, guys, take action on this today.